What's up, guys? Today is a interesting little video. I've been playing Dragon Ball Super. They released the Masked Saiyan not tin, but starter deck a little bit ago. So I decided to build a deck with him. So I move this out of the way. So his ability reads: once per turn, place the top 3 cards of your deck into the drop area. If it's a black card, it gains critical, and if it is any other color, it gets 5k. Which is really cool because we have a lot of really good black cards right now, which there's some I don't have because I don't play in enough tournaments. I've only played in 1 tournament since I put this deck together. And I went 3-1. I lost to bricking. The deck kind of bricks pretty hard right now, so it's something I gotta work on. But anyway, when he flips, he has the same exact ability. It's just when he attacks, you auto draw a card, and he's a 15k. When you flip or when you awaken him, you draw 2 cards and you flip him over. So we'll get into the deck. So first we've got for Saiyan Kaba, probably the best card in the deck. I use that term kind of loosely. When he attacks, you can choose one of your life and add it to your hand. He gains double strike and 10k. So he becomes a 15k double striker, which a lot of people early game kind of struggle with taking care of. And this deck doesn't need to awaken, so you're not really focused on awakening. You're just focusing on slamming into your opponent as hard as you can. Next, we've got 3 Manipulating God Champa. You just search for your other Champas, and there's 2 more in here, or you use them as energy. Very rarely have I had more than 1 Champa on board at any given time, because normally they're energy. Sometimes I use them for combo cards. It just kind of depends on how the game is going. Next, we've got our 3 Furthering Destruction Champa. So his auto is when you combo with him, the card that you combo with gets double strike, which goes really well with the Masked Saiyan getting critical, and it goes really well with the next card that I'm going to show you. But you can search him off of the previous Champa, being able to find him to push you for game, which is generally the main reason why why they're in the deck. I think they just work really well together, and you can just run them down as energy, run the Manipulating God as energy if you need to. Next is 3 Haru Attacker Majin. It's critical, so double strike means 2 of their life go to the drop area instead of their hand, which is kind of the whole concept of this deck. The green version, I think, is a little bit better at that because you have Kale. But anyway, so this one is when you play it, you can put the top 2 cards from your deck, or top 2 from your deck to the drop area. And if your opponent's playing a green or a yellow leader, you can unrest 3, or you can recharge 4 of your energy. Yeah. She comes in really clutch in certain games. I've had games with her where, especially the second game that I played with the deck, where being able to restand your energy really helps, especially in for some combo shenanigans. Time Patrol Trunks is, in my opinion, one of the best overwhelm cards. And when you overwhelm him, which is you send the cards from your drop area to warp, and then you can play him for free, basically. So you have to have 3 cards in your drop area, so you can Masked Saiyan and then play him for free. But when you play him with Overwhelm, you look at the top 2 cards, put 1 in your hand. You can put 1 on the top or on the bottom. So he's really good for just kind of setting up your Masked Saiyan or setting up for the next card, which is Killer Sword Trunks. We're only running 2. I don't have a whole lot of space because I wanted to play a couple other cards over the other 2 copies. But he evolves for 4. So you basically send the Time Patrol Trunks to warp and then play him untapped. But when you do, if you have a card in your warp zone, you can bring a card with 3 or less cost to it into play, which means you can get your Haru, you can get your Bodyguard Legic, you can get your Champa, because it still triggers off of being put into play off of the Trunks. And he's a double striker, so he's really nice to just kind of push through some damage. The next card is 2 copies of Mira from the Darkness. The realistic reason why I play him is because he's Overwhelm 4 for free for 0 mana, so you just play him And then his auto, if you play him with Overwhelm, he gets critical. So you play him for free, then you attack and you give him double strike with Champa. So that's a 30k double striker that they have to waste a combo card on, which a lot of the times people don't want to do. So they're just going to take the damage. I found in the few games that I played, when he hits the board, they want to do everything that they can to keep him from hitting them. So they'll block or they'll combo 2-3 cards to keep him from smacking them. Critical is an amazing. It's just amazing being able to deny your opponent from some resources. So the next card is 3 copies of Increasing Evil Mass Saiyan. He helps you awaken. Sometimes, so when you play him with Overwhelm 4, it costs 1. But when you play him, you get the ability to take 1 of your life, and then warp one of your opponent's things that cost 5 or less. And a lot of the time, it doesn't get around barrier, I don't think, but it gets around things not being destroyed. So it's nice, and it's a 20k. It's a 20k attacker, and you can give it double strike with Champa, which makes it a 30k double striker. A lot of this deck is trying to get big things onto the board to smack with double strike, or to just kind of keep your opponent from really doing a whole lot. Which we have a whole control package that's coming up shortly. Actually, I think it's the next. After the next couple cards. The next card is probably my favorite card in the deck, which is Mass Saiyan, the Mysterious Warrior. When you play him with Overwhelm, you can choose any of your opponent's battle cards without blocker. That adds up to 5, and send them to the warp. It gets around the destruction effects. It gets around some of the smaller cards that you just want to push out of the way to smack, which is nice. And then coming in as a 2k beater for 1 mana is pretty good. I think so, at least. Next is 2 Destructive Terror Champa. Move these up a little bit. He's a triple striker. He evolves from Champa, which is why we have the 1-drop Champas. You don't need them, but I think this card is really nice because when it comes into play, you can choose all your opponent's battle cards with 3,500 or 35,000 or less, and KO. So they just kind of leave, and that leaves you with a lot of room to smack your opponent. It was really good against Apes, the Mecha Apes lists that I was playing against last Wednesday, which are no longer going to be played because the store owner didn't want them. But being able to just come in and smack your opponent for 3 damage is pretty nuts. Clearing a board isn't anything to scoff at either. Next, so this is kind of the defensive elements of the deck. You're either you are very offensive with this deck, or you get to your kind of the defensive mid-range game, which this deck plays really well. We have the Supreme Kai of Time, World's Protector. It's your super combo. It's the best one of them, I believe. For obviously the black decks, because if you have 5 or more cards in your warp zone, you draw a card, and then it gains plus 1,000 or plus 10,000 combo potential. It helps a lot when you're shotgunning to close the game out, and especially when you want to just push damage through, or you want to keep yourself from dying. So this is just a good card all around. And I've had games where I get it back from warp with Trunks and then combo with it. It's kind of crazy how it works. So next is a card that ends up in energy a lot, but for good reason. It's a Bodyguard Legic. He's a blocker. He's a 3-cost blocker. But if your opponent has a battle card and you don't have any, you can play him for free. You can only do it once, obviously. If you play him, you can't play another one. You just play him for free, and then you can play a 1-drop. A lot of the games that I went second, I would mulligan aggressively to get a Bodyguard Legic, so I can keep myself from getting smacked down on the early games, especially against the super aggressive decks. Being able to just block and keep him alive is pretty good. There's some other lists that I've seen that aren't playing him, and I don't want to say that it's wrong, but I think that there's plenty of reason to play Bodyguard Legic, as you know, it's 15k, it's a 3 cost, and it's free essentially, and it's, if anything, you can just charge it and just use your energy for other things and not really wasting him. Next, one of my favorite characters in all of Dragon Ball, as time's kind of gone on, that is Pride and Justice Topo. He's a counter spell, and then if your opponent's leader has 15, or if any leader has 15,000 or more attack, you can play him for free, or 15 or more power. Sorry, you can play him for 2, and when he KOs a battle card, he's switching back to active mode. So he's a little guy, but I really do like him, as I think he just works really well in the deck, as a lot of the time, either your opponent's going to be awakened really early, or you're going to awaken really early, and you're just going to flip, and then you just drop him down for 2, and then start smacking your opponent really hard. I just really like this card. I think it's one of the best red cards that's not super expensive. Next is our 5th through 8th super combo, the Unbreakable Super Saiyan Son Goku. I very rarely actually play this card. Most of the time I combo with it or play it for energy. The few times that I have played it have been really nice because your opponent can't kill it. But anytime when you evolve or combo with it, you draw a card. So it's a 10k combo that you draw a card and it costs 1, which again with Haru, being able to untap your energy is pretty nice. And being able to go, oh hey, I'm gonna combo for 1,000 or for 10,000, and I'm gonna draw a card, which could be another 10,000 combo, or could be, you know, something to kind of keep you from getting killed. It's just an all-around kind of good card. I see a lot of decks that are just in general decks playing it, and I think that's the point where, you know, a card is really good, is when decks that aren't red are playing it. So I think that's really good. And the final card is our negate, 5 through 8, and that's Vados' Assistance. I was playing 3 initially, but I felt like 4 was a little bit better, because you negate an attack and you unrest one of your battle cards, and so a lot of the time I'll attack with the Topo, and attack my opponent's leader, or not the Topo, the Legic, and then I will Vados' Assistance negate attack and unrest it. Restand, whatever. But it's a strong card, and I think it has a lot of potential, as just kind of keeping you from losing stuff, especially when the board is at a kind of a stalemate, and your opponent wants to get rid of your things. You just negate the attack and unrest whatever you were losing, or whatever they were attacking, so they can't kill it. And then my sideboard right now, it's only 8 cards. There's a reason for that. I don't have a lot of the other cards that I want to play. But I'm playing 4 Shun against, you know, the Goku, the Super Saiyan 3 Goku Mash is a 30k blocker. There's not really a whole lot that they can do about it. And in the mirror match, it comes in over Haru. So it's just a good all-around card, because it's a blocker and it's a 30k blocker. Next is the Time Ruler Toa. It's just, I had a game where my opponent had a big thing on board that I wanted, and this card came in really clutch in that game. Being able to take the I can't remember what it was, but it was something that kind of swung the game in my favor. I know that because I think it was I was losing that game, and with the Toa, I basically took control of the game. So I think it's a good card. It's not super relevant, but it worked out pretty well. And then the final card I have is the Relentless Super Saiyan 3 Son Goku. He just comes in. He's a 25k beater with double strike, and he can't be KO'd by my opponent's skills. So that's kind of why I play him. He's good. That's it for the deck, guys. Let me know what you think. If you think maybe some kind of budget-friendly edits, because I'm kind of broke right now. I have like $30 in my bank account for a while. That's it. So I will see you guys in the next video. I'll let you know what's going on in that one. This is Alex, T Mag Madman, Gert Jars, whatever you want to call me, and I'm out for the day. Peace.